Hey, what's up, Alan? Here with Corey Taylor from Stone Sour. What's up, buddy? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you don't interrupt the circle because we're trying to conjure a Harry Houdini spirit.
Yeah.
It's a family tradition.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I like the ambiance. It's nice.
It's very nice, right? It gives that nice romantic bouffant,
if
you will.
So I have here a copy of the album before it's come out.
Yeah, that's the original artwork too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a white piece of paper
there you go.
in a plastic sleeve. I think it's going to do well. I mean, we save so much on fabrication and whatnot. It's special.
Simple's best.
It really
Simple
is. Simple sells.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I put it on, and I've had probably about 2 days to listen to it, and it's great, man. I mean, I guess the thing about Stone Sour is you guys just go for it, and you sort of go for everything from a bit of metal to grunge to even the pop rock stuff. And you're a super huge fan of music. I mean, I've talked to you a couple times, and you're a Tom Waits guy.
Absolutely.
You like everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, third record, Audio Secrecy. Tell us a little bit about it. I guess the recording process. Because the last time I talked to you, you had just announced that you were going to do an album. So.
Yeah. We this time around, I mean, it was almost like third time lucky. I mean, the first album, we really had no expectations. The second album, we got kind of we got a nice little fan base going on, and then Come Whatever May blew up and really kind of took us by surprise. We were like, whoa, so we kind of sat back and we went, man, you know what? We've got this great fan base.
Nice.
We've got this great fan base. And, we've got all these great songs. Let's just push it even further, Let's just go for it, Let's avoid the habit that a lot of bands have of holding back and playing it safe and just go for it, And, it was basically time for us to make this kind of album, we've always been the kind of band that if we write it, we're going to play it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. It doesn't matter if it's cohesive or anything like that. We like the music, we're going to play it. And it's, that's kind of what the spirit of this album is all about. It's just getting it out there and just showing the world that you can be a band with several different dimensions and so many different layers, and you can still be an amazing band doing it. Yeah. So to me, it's my favorite album we've done. It's my favorite album I've done in a long time, and I'm really proud of it.
Well, one song that kicked me right in the ass was Mission Statement. Yeah. And what do you mean by Tell Me Who I Am? Is that a statement sort of, playing in the band and I guess, people are used to you in Slipknot. Is that sort of a, bring it, say what you got to say about this band?
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's a very sarcastic kind of line because, I mean, not only that, but I mean, you got to look at all the definitions that people throw out there, especially with the internet, media, the fans, this and that, but even people that just trying to push trying to hold their definitions of you onto you, instead of letting you just be yourself and explain yourself and basically just share yourself with the world. So many people try to hammer you into these different definitions and keep you very kind of encapsulated.
Yeah, media loves to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they would rather define you and keep you there than let you just kind of be yourself. So to me, that's kind of what Mission Statement is basically me kind of coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, guess what? You need to stop because your power over how I feel or who I am doesn't exist. Yeah. I know who I am, and that's all I'm going to be, and I'm not going to try and cater to your definitions. So go ahead, tell me who I am. Go ahead. It's not going to change anything, So it's basically just a drawing the line in the sand and saying, screw you. I am who I am, and I'm not going to let you change that.
Yeah. Now, this band was around before Slipknot. I mean,
yes.
I don't know if people know that, but it was around a long time. And then you guys did the Slipknot thing, and then you guys reunited. Yeah. And I wondered how much, did that have anything to do with, let's say, the success of Slipknot? And you were like, I'm going to go back to this band that, we always thought was going to do something. You know what I mean?
It did, but not in the sense that you say. It was more because of, it was it almost felt polarizing in Slipknot. We were only able to do one thing, and I'm not that guy. I mean, that's kind of proof and
Dark- really
positive.
dark thing, too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we came out of the gate with Iowa, and at the time, it was a hard album to make for me. You know, I mean, it really kind of kicked the crap out of me. So it was important for me to get away from that and make a different type of music, you know, and be able to have that outlet, because I just wasn't being able to do it with Slipknot. So it was almost like it was a built-in backup, you know, and you know, there really wasn't any plans to do anything major with Stone Sour. It was just getting back together and jamming and making some new music. But then the bigger and the better the music got, it was just like, man, we got to take this out. We got to share this with the world. We've got to get this out of us. And, you know, I mean, from Bother to, you know, songs on the album like Blotter, I mean, it just had a different vein to it. And that's what was exciting for me. So in a way, it was kind of because of the success of Slipknot that was very stifling at the time. Like, we felt like we couldn't do a lot at the time. But at the same time, Slipknot, or Stone Sour, kind of allowed us in Slipknot to show different colors eventually, you know, with Volume 3, and then, you know, with like the slower passages on All Hope Is Gone. So it was really kind of it was almost essential that Stone Sour come out and really kick down a lot of the walls, you know, kind of like what Mission Statement is about, is kicking down those definitions and kicking down all of the people who would just wanted to kind of keep us in a box and never let us branch out and be what we could eventually come into, you know. So that's kind of that's why Stone Sour is still very vital to me.
You also have a really great voice.
Well, yes, I do. Yes,
so
I do.
to be able to sing.
No, yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
No, you can say it again.
You really do. He has a great voice and a great scream.
I do.
That's why you get the big bucks.
I do.
That's why you get
Oh
the
well,
big bucks.
that's why I'm a professional. You know, that's why I'm naming.
No, but I mean, you really do have a good voice. So I also imagine that might have been, you know, you were able to probably sing more.
Yeah.
And I mean, that also happened on the Slipknot records as well. But I mean, to be able to hit those high notes and
Is
it harder? Is it harder to scream? Is it harder to sing?
Well, I mean, there's a balance that you have to kind of strike. You know, I had to learn to scream when I joined Slipknot. You know, I'd never done anything like that before.
Really?
I'd never had. There were heavy moments on Stone Sour. Stone Sour was kind of heading in the direction that we eventually came to with our first major release. But I had never done anything that heavy before at all, you know. And when I joined Slipknot, the reason that I joined Slipknot, ironically enough, is because I wanted to do something different. You know, I did. I know, it's very weird.
It's weird.
It's that it would come full circle like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
On the other side, I
Well,
guess.
not just that, but I mean, my approach has always been very much like, I don't want to limit myself, you know? I mean, I have more in common with Mike Patton than I do with Phil Anselmo. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I wanted to explore everything. I wanted to find the boundaries of what I could do musically, and I honestly haven't found them yet, you know, which is great. You know, to me, as a singer, as a writer, you want to know that you can go off and do different things and still be and still do it well, you know. I mean, because there are a lot of guys that try different things and it doesn't come off all that great, you know. So for me, it was at the time, joining Slipknot was much more about, hey, I want to do something different, and I honestly had a lot to say. You know, I was holding down a lot of anger, you know, and Slipknot was such a great vehicle for that. And
The best.
but then, you know, 4 years later, it was you know, it was time for me to kind of do something else. You know, I was terrified that I was going to be kind of locked in that box of just a screamer. You know, even though I did have a really good balance with Slipknot, you know, with Wait and Bleed and Left Behind and stuff like that, it was still very vital for me to break out of that and do something different. I didn't know it was going to be this successful, though. You know, Stone Sour.
Well, that's got to be a good feeling, man. To be in that position where you can explore and also
Definitely.
be successful at it. I mean,
No,
not too many
absolutely.
musicians are that lucky, you know.
Well, you know, and maybe it's the way I write, maybe it's the way that I approach things, but you know, I never set out to make anything accessible. I just have a very good ear for hooks, and I have a very good ear for melody and whatnot, you know, and that's the way I've always written, you know, and it's like, I'm not going to change just to be quirky or anything like that, but at the same time, you know, the stuff that I write is just, people are very into it, and that to me is, it's gratifying in a way that, you know, because I mean, you want to make music and you want people to like it, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you like your music first,
Right.
you know, and because
Yeah.
I like it and then we put it out there, you know, people have really kind of gravitated towards it. And it's I got the best of all worlds, man. It's weird.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.